Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm your host, Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio by Brian Leonard, Wager Talk also. Brian, big Thanksgiving weekend going. We've got Friday action. We're going to look at Colorado State at Air Force. I got to tell you, for a team that's 10-1 on the season, Colorado State is a team that's flying under the radar. Nobody is talking about this team. I've used them a couple times this year as big plays, and they've won 9 in a row, and they've scored 31 or more points in 6 of their last 7 games, and the only game that they didn't was a really physical game they played against Utah State, who has one of the best defenses in the conference.
Yeah, Utah State hasn't gotten any rep. Colorado State, at least Boise has now made it into the top 25 of the Final Four poll, whatever they call it. I don't really know. So maybe the Mountain West getting a little bit of traction on that. But yeah, I've made a lot of money off of both these teams this year. Air Force coming into the season, they only had 2 wins last year, down season for them. And in fact, the head coach was talked about being on the hot seat coming into the season. But Air Force has really gotten all their goals. They're bowl eligible, obviously. Played very well, and they won the Commander-in-Chief trophy. And that's really their major goal on the season. Last week, they did not play well against San Diego State. But it's a Colorado State team. I mean, they've just been remarkable all season long. The last 2 weeks, I believe, they've had over 1,200 yards of offense. They've just been unstoppable.
Because what do you stop? If you can't stack the line to try to stop the running game on Colorado State. They're rushing the ball for well over 200 yards a game. If you try to cheat and come up, they've got a quarterback that is going to just absolutely rip you apart. The guy's throwing 287 yards against Hawaii, threw for 400 yards last week against New Mexico. Now, granted, those are soft defenses, but still, they've got the players. They've got a great wide receiver. It's hard to cover this guy. He's big. He's fast. He goes up, gets the ball. He's belled. You know, you can not be perfect with a throw, and he's going to go up and get it. And, you know, it's just hard to stop him. And they break your heart. You get him in 3rd and long. You think you got him in a good down and distance, and they still find a way to keep the chains moving. And I just don't see how Air Force can stop them. I got to say to you, being a military school, and I like to look the last week of the season, a lot of my handicapping, you have to put a factor in because it is the final home game for, you know, the team playing at home. It's the last week of the season. A lot of these games this week will be rivalry games, which adds another wrinkle to the handicapping. But for a military school, do you think that means more for the seniors on this team than maybe an average team?
I'm not really sure. I've never taken that into account. I do know that this time of the year in the Mountain West, your home teams have some sort of an advantage because of the weather, obviously. But that's not the case here because Colorado State is the same kind of weather as they do. They're right around the corner there. Yeah, the Air Force team, you mentioned one-dimensional offenses, and you find that a lot in the Mountain West. You've got your New Mexico that runs a lot. You've got your Air Force that runs a lot. Colorado State had a bye 2 weeks ago before preparing for New Mexico. Now, granted, they're slightly different. New Mexico is more of a pistol offense. But when you have that extra week to prepare for an option and then play another option, that's a big advantage there. And Colorado State right now is just running on all cylinders. They actually have a chance to win this conference. Boise gets knocked off the next day, Saturday. Yeah. It's a weird week with Thanksgiving. Yeah. But they still have that chance here. But, yeah, Air Force has done pretty well against the pass, but they have yet to face a quality passing attack. And we've talked about this in the past. When you go up against these teams in practice, they should be very good against the run because they see it all the time, and they rarely see the pass, although Air Force is passing the ball a little bit more this year than they have in the past. It's that dual offense of Colorado State is going to make this pretty tough on Air Force.
All right, well, there you have it. Brian says to take Colorado State. I got to agree with him on this one. Got to tell you about a couple big plays this weekend. Brian has indeed a play, and it's on Friday, correct, Brian?
Yes.
He's got his MAC conference game of the year. Now, this guy knows the MAC, and you say, well, who cares about the MAC? Well, this guy does care about the MAC. He went to a MAC school. He lived most of his life in Cleveland. He knows that conference inside and out, and he likes a matchup strong on Saturday. When he speaks MAC, I'm listening because he's either talking about a Big Mac or a game in the MAC, and either way, I'm listening and following him. So Check him out on Saturday at Friday at wagertalk.com. Also, Tony Finn at WagerTalk. He's on a nice roll in college football, 30-14 the last 7 weeks with his college plays, and you can get his Big 12 game of the year on Saturday. If you want to get a better way to get these guys' plays, check out their weekend all access. This is a huge weekend, football all weekend long, basketball as well. You can get everything Thursday through Monday, just $69. Pick your favorite capper, grab that all access weekend package. All right, we're going to be right back with another college football selection. I've got a powerhouse of a game coming for you on Saturday. That's up next. WagerTalk.com.